Winners take full responsibility for determining their actions in their own lives. They believe in cause and effect, and they have the philosophy that life is a do-it-to-yourself program. Many people refuse to face the truth in the mirror of their lives on a daily basis, but prefer to hide behind the belief that fate, luck, or possibly their astrological sign have shaped the outcome of their lives. These people who feel that life is mostly determined by external circumstances, predestination, or being at the right place at the right time, are more likely to give in to doubt and fear. Those who can't make up their minds for fear of making the wrong choice, vacillating in indecision, simply don't achieve their goals, which is a requisite for success. Rather, they take their place among the rank and file, trudging along in mediocrity. In his classic book, Self-Renewal, John Gardner states that winning individuals, they don't leave the development of their potential to chance. They pursue it honestly, systematically, and they look forward to an endless dialogue between their potentials and the claims of life. Not only the claims that they encounter, but the claims they invent. And daily, thousands of individuals are finding that there's a bright new world out there to be discovered, and they're demonstrating Gardner's statement that we don't know we've been imprisoned until we've broken out. People who are aware that they exert control over what happens to them in life are happier, and they're able to choose more appropriate responses to whatever occurs. All individuals are what they are and where they are as a composite result of all their own doings. Although our innate characteristics and environment are given to us initially, the decisions that we make determine whether we win or lose our particular game of life. Voltaire likened life to a game of cards. Each of us must accept the cards that life deals him or her, but once they're in hand, he or she alone must decide how to play the cards in order to win the game. The writer John Erskine put it a little differently when he wrote, "Though we sometimes speak of a primrose path, we all know that a bad life is just as difficult, just as full of work, obstacles, and hardships as a good one. The only choice is the kind of life one would care to spend one's efforts on." I didn't realize until I was 35 that I'm behind the wheel in my life. I thought it was the government, the economy, the world situation, and my heritage. I used to think that as a Gemini, I was destined to be creative but nonspecific. I should have taken a hint from one of my daughters when she was only 11 months old. She was in her high chair for dinner, and I decided that she should eat some nourishing strained squash. I tasted it to test the temperature. It was bland and not very exciting, but I knew it was good for her. So I held the little curved spoon out and I gently entreated, "Open up, honey. Daddy has some yummy squash for you." She stared coldly at me and clamped her mouth shut in passive defiance. Although she was unable to speak, had she been able to talk, she certainly would have said, "Go ahead, Daddy. Why don't you eat it?" Being in total control of the situation, I simply pressed her cheeks firmly with 2 fingers, thus forcing her mouth open. I then neatly inserted the spoonful of squash into her mouth and quietly but sternly ordered, "Go on, swallow it. It's good for you." She spit it out all over my face. She decided at 11 months old that she didn't like the taste of strained squash. Now she has grown children of her own, who for some strange reason never liked the taste of strained squash either. Children do begin to take control of their lives at an early age. Many children learn how to control their parents' lives as well, long before they know how to talk in complete sentences. Whining receives attention. Crying receives consolation. Begging gets goodies. Tantrums create havoc. It's easy to incite mommy against daddy and sit back and watch the show. In a very real sense, we all become hostages of hundreds of restrictions of our own choosing, or with the assistance of the entertainment media and our parents. As children, we either accepted or rejected the teachings and lifestyles of the significant adults in our lives. I know from experience that the greatest gifts that parents can give their children and that managers can give to their employees are roots and wings. As we mentioned last week, roots lie in core values and feelings of self-worth, and wings grow from acceptance of responsibility, which enables our children to fly freely as independent adults. The loss of roots and wings too often leads to pursuit of loot and things, which we said, and other tragic results. In my parenting and leadership seminars, I tell a true story about a young couple. They invited me to their home for dinner some time ago after an all-day program at a university. Now, this man and woman, both highly intelligent, with advanced degrees, had opted for a child-centered home so that their 5-year-old son, Bradford, would have everything at his disposal to become a winner out there in the competitive world. When I arrived at their driveway in front of a fashionable 2-story home, I should have known what was in store for me. I stepped on one of his many scattered toys, getting out of the car, and was greeted by, "Watch where you're walking, mister, or you'll have to buy me some new ones." Entering the front door, I instantly discovered this was Bradford's place, not his parents'. The furnishings, it appeared, were originally of fine quality before their son practiced his demolition skills on them. We attempted to have a cup of tea in the family room, but Bradford was busy ruining his new video game controls. Trying to find a place to sit down was like hopping on one foot through a minefield blindfolded. Bradford was the first to be served with his food in the living room so that he wouldn't be lonely. I nearly dropped my hot cup of tea in surprise when they brought out a high chair that was designed like an aircraft ejection seat with 4 legs and straps. He was 5 years old and had to be strapped in a high chair to get through one meal. Soon I wished it had been a real aircraft ejection seat. As we started our salads, young Bradford dumped his dinner on the carpet and proceeded to pour his milk on top of it to ensure that the peas and carrots would go deep into the shag fibers. And his mother entreated, "Brad, honey, don't do that. Mommy wants you to grow up strong and healthy like Daddy. I'll get you some more dinner while Daddy cleans it up." While they were occupied with their chores, Bradford had unfastened his seatbelt, scrambled down from his perch, and joined me in the dining room, helping himself to my olives. "I think you should wait for your own dinner," I said politely, removing his hand from my salad bowl. He swung his leg up to kick me in the knee, but my old ex-pilot reflexes didn't fail me, and I crossed my legs so quickly that he missed, came off his feet, came down hard on the floor on the seat of his pants. Well, you'd have thought he was at the dentist's office. He screamed and ran to his mother, sobbing, "He hit me." When his parents asked me what happened, I calmly informed them that he had fallen accidentally and that, besides, I'd never hit the head of a household. I knew it was time to be on my way when they put their little prince to bed by placing granola cookies on the stairs as enticers, and he ate his way up to bed. "How are you ever going to motivate him to go to school?" I asked quietly. "Oh, I'm sure we'll come up with something," they laughed. "Yes, but what if the neighborhood dogs eat what you put out? He'll lose his way just like Hansel and Gretel." Well, the couple didn't find that very humorous, and they never invited me back. As a traveling lecturer, I see many children throughout the world who are in charge of their parents. I also observe many teenagers and adults who, as a result of overly permissive or overly strict leadership at home, are out of control. So life's greatest risk is being spoiled or pampered and then feeling entitled to depend on others for your security, which can really come only by planning, acting, and making choices that will make you independent. Leadership ideas that solve problems and create opportunity come from creative trial and error thinking. Years of study and some painful personal experiences have convinced us that the fear of the cost of success are among the reasons that prejudiced people resist change. You know, success does have its price, including taking responsibility for giving up your bad habits and invalid assumptions, for taking responsibility and setting an example in our own lives, distancing ourselves from a peer group that isn't helping us succeed and therefore tends or wants to hold us back, and leading ourselves and others down a new and unfamiliar path, working more to reach a goal, and being willing to delay gratifications along the way, being willing to face criticism and jealousy from people who'd like to keep us stuck in place with them. These are among the perceived costs of success that prompt people to escape from the present by occupying their minds with past memories or future expectations. Leaders, by contrast, are not dismayed by the cost of success. They get started and they build positive momentum. Determined to pursue their potential, they look forward to an endless dialogue between their talents and the claims of life. So here are a few questions of the day. What kind of pressure do you feel to conform to the standards, views, and beliefs of your peer group? Can you fit in and stand out at the same time? Think about this and write your response in the journal and talk about it in the tribe. And here's today's action idea. Be aware today that others may try to hold you back with them rather than want you to move ahead. So take more responsibility for your outcomes today by being more proactive instead of reactive, and be different if it means to care more, do more, give more, and expect more. Ask for or assume more responsibility today. And thanks for watching.